much or more. So they started a podcast to talk all about it, and 30 and Nerdy was born. Oh, 30 and Nerdy was born. You might hear them chat about shows like The Witcher or movies like Lord of the Rings. And if Josh has to choose, he is loyal to Marvel, while Tyler goes more for DC. Yes, Tyler goes more for DC. Now come, one and all, nerd up or shut up, just answer the call to be part of our journey into magical worlds. Join us and cheers to ya nerds. Join us and cheers to ya nerds.
And welcome to the next panel. It is my pleasure to introduce to you our Mandalorian panel with Brendan Wayne, Lateef Crowder, and Misty Rosas.
Hi, guys.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for coming.
All right, let's start things off with the beginning. Misty, we'll start with you. How did you find your way into the Mandalorian family? What was the process like?
Legacy Effects obviously was building all of the costumes, and I've worked with them, you know, from the beginning of my career, which was started with Congo. So they knew my work and my abilities in costume. But I kept sending John and Dave random clips. Like, I didn't have a demo reel of all of my work because I was focused on music. And so, like, I shudder at this now because I'm sending them clips, and finally they're just like, oh my God, just bring this girl in for a cold read audition. So if I had known then what I was doing, I was like mortified after, but yeah, just Legacy Effects and an audition, so.
Lateef.
All right. Kind of a long one. I think I just got off of doing film Mile 22. It was with Mark Wahlberg. And the stunt coordinator that I usually work with is a good friend of mine named Ryan Watson. I just got back home in LA, and then he calls me up. He's like, hey, I just got a call from Favreau. We might be doing Star Wars. You know, he didn't tell me what it was. It's something related to Star Wars. And another friend of ours, his name is Rich Citrone. And he's actually, if you guys watch Batman vs. Superman, he's the guy who does all the Batman stuff when it's Ben Affleck puts on the suit. And he's the guy fighting in the warehouse, and you know, we fought and we did a good show on there. And then I guess Jon Favreau was looking at Rich Citrone to be the Mandalorian. Rich Citrone is about 6'4", one of the most amazing stunt fighters ever in the business. And they were doing a few camera tests with him, but he's very tall, kind of lanky, and they wanted more Western vibe than a martial artist vibe, right? So then we did a little short previs. Jon Favreau wanted us to do a short action previs just to see what Mando looks like in action. And they did it with Rich, and you know, there's certain things they liked, certain things they didn't like, and they're thinking, well, we should go with a more Western vibe. And then my brother here, you know, and then he gets casted on, and then I have to do another previs because now it's not, you know, 6'4" Rich, it's for someone more of his height, you know. So
It's not that low.
yeah. I gotta act like a cowboy. I gotta walk in the room and fight these people. I'm like, I don't even know. Okay, I'm just gonna put together and do the best I can. And we end up doing like a scene from, I think, season 1. It was an episode with the Blurg.
Oh yeah.
The Blurg grabs his arm, and she shoots one of the Blurgs, and we did that scene. John saw it, and he just looked at me, and I didn't think I'm going to be a double for anyone because you know, we kind of
Don't look as much
don't
alike.
look that much alike, you know? But we're in a mask, so I was just like, okay, cool, I hope he likes it, and I'm just gonna move on to another movie after I do the previs, but then Favreau goes, okay, so you're the Mandalorian, and I was like, oh, okay, what does that mean? You know? And I was like, okay, cool, and then we go check out the suits at
Yeah.
Legacy.
Yeah.
And I had no idea what I was walking into, and then when I saw the suit, I'm like, oh my god, that's Boba Fett. It's one of my brother's, it is my oldest brother's favorite character, is one of my favorite characters. And we got to put on the suit at Legacy, and it was like a dream come true, man. It was, you automatically get right into the character. You're like, oh my god, this is cool, I can do this, I can do this. And I met this guy, he's more a Western guy. He's like, no, Mando ain't moving like this, you know. He's moving like this, and his gun's gonna be, his hand's gonna be near his gun. And so when I met this guy, it was really awesome because what you see now in The Mandalorian is pretty much what we all came up with in the beginning. It was like about a month out before season 1, and just mixing his stuff because he's the main actor in it, so it's gonna be vibing off of him. So whatever I do action-wise has to complement what he does with the acting and everything. So I thought it was really neat. We got together, became brothers, and since then, man, we've just been going for 7 years?
7 years.
7 years straight.
7 years right now.
Sorry,
Yeah.
that was a long one. but-
Holy smokes! Yeah.
Yeah, there's more to it, but I cut that
Yeah.
one short, to be honest.
Well, I'm sure there is more to it because you are rocking a Mandalorian and Grogu shirt right now, which the trailer just recently dropped.
Yes.
Looking forward to that one. Looking forward to it. Brennan, how did the journey start to you? What were you doing leading up to being
Bartended.
Mando?
Really? Like a good actor. I bartended. Well, I'll explain. So I had a kid who was going off to college. Somebody had to pay for it. And since I was her dad, I guess that was me. So at the time, they called me and said, hey, my agent was like, hey, you got to go try on this suit. I said, I work that day. And they were like, yeah, no, it's, you know, it's going to be a big deal. I'm like, cool. I won't go unless they pay me. I was 46 years old. I was done with thinking Hollywood was going to save me. So I was like, nah, they got to pay me. He was like, oh my God. Calls him back, goes, yeah, hey, they'll pay you $250. I was like, all right, I'll try on whatever they want. It'll be a tutu. I don't care. I have no idea what I'm going in for. So I go over to Legacy in Glendale, and it's not like, if you imagine Hollywood, like how beautiful and like the idea of Hollywood, it's not. I'm in Glendale, and I think I drove through about like 5 homeless encampments underneath that freeway. And I'm like, where am I going? Am I lost? Because I'm the king of getting lost. Even though as a Mandalorian, you should be really good with your navigation skills. I get there, I'm like, this is a shady little warehouse. I open the door, and I have to like buzz her in. I'm like, all right, relax, guys. I know you're top secret. I open the door, and I literally see T1, and I see Avatar, I see Thor, and I mean, like, when I see them, it's not like, oh, there's little pictures. The full costumes, and I was like, oh my God, this is awesome. And I forgot what I was there for. And they're like, hey, you need to sign this, non-disclosure agreement. I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. And I go into this little, like, makeup room, dressing room, and they have the box, and they pop it open. I literally said it. And I was like, oh, Boba Fett. That's awesome. They're like, it's not Boba Fett. And I got really pissed because they're like, and I was like, no, dude, it's cool. I signed an NDA. They're like, no, dude, it's not Boba. And I was like, okay, relax, I got it. It's Boba Fett. So they're like, this was made for a guy who was a little bigger than you. I was like, uh-oh, this will be problematic. But thank God that Rich, that he was talking about, is a fit dude, because although he's 6'5", 6'4", he's super fit, so it didn't look so weird on me. And we were just putting it on, and I was like, this is awesome. And then they pull out the helmet, and it's this Beskar colored thing. And I was like, that's weird. I wonder if they just haven't painted it yet. And I put it on, and it fit, and that's what they were waiting for. I had no idea. I have no idea, like, am I trying out for, like, a cast member at Disney? I'm like, because then I'm like dialing the clock back. I should have done that at the beginning of my career, not now. Anyway, so they're like, dude, you're him. I'm like, yeah, him. Who's him? You know, I was just happy to be in it. And I tried it on, and then my kid was leaving for college, so we were all getting ready to go. I mean, things were tight at this point. Like, my sister was paying for us to fly out with my daughter to go to college. She got a scholarship because she could play soccer and she was smart, so she got a full scholarship at BU. I just had to cover the other expenses. But like so they were flying me out. It was like, I think it was like 8 days later, I was leaving. Well, they called like 5 days later and we're like, hey, we need to do a screen test on Friday. And I go, nope. And they're like, what? And now I know it's an untitled Star Wars project. I'm like, no. And they're like, no, you have to. I was like, I don't have to do anything. And my daughter's going to college for the first time. And unlike marriage, it's not going to happen again. So I'm going. And I got to make sure I see everybody in that dorm. And they were like, no, you've had my agent's like crying. He's like, good, please. I'm like, no, I'm good, bro. Call me back later that day. They're like, we'll fly you back. I was like, no, I'm there for my kid. Like, I'm sorry. I mean, in retrospect, I'm an imbecile. But at the time, it gave me some kind of agency with them. And they were like, so John flew back from whatever he was doing and moved it so that it was like a day or two later. I think it was 2 days later, and then I left the next day. And so I did a screen test, and I got to see what the volume was going to be. They were just putting up some of the screens. I was in the warehouse, and they wanted me to walk around in it. And so I get dressed, and I walk into this room. I haven't gotten this job yet. And props comes over, and at the time, I didn't realize it was Filoni. It was Filoni, some guy in a Penguins fucking hat. Pardon my French. And I'm like, ugh. I'm a Kings guy. And then Favreau comes over. I'm like, hey, what's up, Favs? Because I'd done Cowboys with him and Couples Retreat. And I'm trying to think. I don't know who else was there. I know it was those three. So Props walks up, and I'm like, hey, you got to fix this. This gun's too long. You got to drop my holster, because if you're going to have a gun up here and I bend my elbow, someone's shooting me. Like, if we're going to do a Western, let's do a Western. I want to be able to draw my gun from my leg, not my hip. Everyone likes to talk about hip pulls, but if I see you go to your hip, I'm shooting you in the face. Like, it's that simple. I'm not waiting for you to get your arm up. I'm going to shoot you. So they were like, and then they started taking notes, and I don't know, like, it didn't dawn on me till I was driving home. Like, I'd never done that in an audition where you just kind of, I knew who he was. I knew what he was going to be. And I just, but I didn't think about it that way. I wasn't like, I know what's going on. I just was like, this is what I'd do. This is what we need. I mean, I was walking with that I don't even know, Am-Bam rifle, and that thing stuck in my boot twice. And I was like, eh! But I did the whole thing, and I left, and I went and took my kid to college, and I got a call while I was there, and they were like, hey, you got this job. And I was like, what does it mean? And they were like, well, it means you'll sign a contract every day. They could fire you at the end of any day, and you could not come back, but they'll use you as needed. I only had 1 day off in season 1, so the rest is history, in my opinion. Like, we just, like, I started rehearsals with Bryce and Deb Chow and Rick and Gina, and then Lateef started to try to kind of like teach me how to see things when you're in the fight, let alone in the helmet, but like, you know, who to watch out for, because Tate tended to be really heavy-handed, and so I don't want to get hit by Tate, so how the hell do I get out of the way, kind of thing. And so like it was incredible. And then Ryan, who was with us last night at dinner, like, it was unreal to be a part of, you know, a team again at my age. You know, I'd grown up in team sports, and it was really cool to be part of something with guys I respected, without a doubt. I mean, like, he'll be humble about it, but we all know there's only one person who has won 2 Emmys on The Mandalorian, and it's him. And the first ever individual stuntman award in a series went to this guy. So
Well deserved.
I just gotta say, it was incredible. Now, you guys may ask us how hard it is in the suit and whatever, and on a given day it might be tough, but there's nobody who has it tougher than that young lady right there. You start putting latex on your face, and then it has a motor in it, and you gotta stick a fan in your mouth to cool down. You've gone a bridge too far for me. I would have said no. I don't know how Misty did it, but they called me while I was at college, and I went, oh, I looked at my kid and I was like, hey, you can eat.
So, Misty, talking about Quill and Lady Frog, he talked about, you've got a motor running the mouth and you're in this hot suit. Talk us through that, like the differences in the characters, the process, things like that.
Well, I mean, I met Brendan, and again, I don't Google anybody because I'm already nervous going in to begin with, and I'm glad I didn't know who Brendan was, and I'm glad I didn't know Dave, because I was like, our first day of rehearsal, I was like, let's get a picture, and Dave's like, you can't post that. I was like, oh, I know, like, I don't really post much anyway, but, I have that picture now, I'm allowed to post it now, but, at the time, it was like, yeah, you can't post that. For Quill, it's one of those things where, I started training, and when I was at Legacy, and I put the whole costume on, and they had me like walk around the whole warehouse. Like it's a huge, like, again, it's very discreet going in. It's not in a great part of town, and you have to go through several doors to, kind of see the magic. But I realized after that walk around, I was like, okay, I need to change my workout schedule and put like 20-pound weights on each shoulder and do more squats. Because it was a lot. I know people always ask, like, what was the makeup like? And it wasn't makeup. It was a fully functional animatronic head, but it was different because my eyes were, those are my eyes. And so they had to, like, pry it open and then, like, kind of slide it on, and it would go and just, like, cut right to my face. And sometimes when I had long monologue scenes, I would have to, like, do this because it was so close to my face that it would start pinching my, the side of my face, and they'd have to come in and open the mouth and pull it away, and then we'd start again. So, yeah.
Mind you,
I
cool.
wish she never complained.
No.
I would complain about
Yes,
her.
100%.
She went through the worst stuff, and I said, never complain.
Quill's backpack had to be 30 pounds. Because it was carrying all the batteries and everything and the wires that went to her face.
Yeah.
So it was like, all that, she's doing it. She's saying the lines. And then she's got to sit there with this, 30-pound ruck on, and you're just like, this is ridiculous.
Plus the batteries, like,
Yeah.
they made it look like, I had things in my pockets, but on each side there was this solid, at least, like, 10-pound battery. It was like, anything else?
Yeah.
But that was, like, what they did to me on Frog Lady, too. It's like,
Oh, Frog Lady was way worse.
that was even harder, because
She had a
I was
70-pound
blind in that.
aquarium on her back. She did. No, it was like, it wasn't fake. Like, it was a real freaking thing. Like, I was like, this is ridiculous, you guys.
Like 50 pounds.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
Oof.
Authenticity.
Yeah.
So you mentioned a term that a lot of us who watched the ILM documentary, the volume.
Oh, yeah.
We were introduced to the volume. What is it like? Like, we got to see it through the lens of a Disney Plus documentary, but what is it like being in that space?
I would imagine for all of us, we all kind of experienced green screen, blue screen stuff, where you have to imagine perhaps whatever it is, and sometimes you don't even know what they're going to end up rendering for you, whatever it is that's opposite you. So you're just imagining that. But then you also have to stay present and be in the moment, and it's about the relationship that's going on, whether it's with the object or with the people you're in with. And so that's a tough thing. I mean, my Uncle Patrick did it with Sinbad, and it was a guy with a stick and a balloon or a tennis ball, and he's doing this, and he's fighting this, great big, mythological beast. Well, when you step into the volume, you don't have to imagine what's there. It's there. And as that camera moves and you're going through this thing, the focus of it stays with you, and you're able to see, like, when Luke comes in the X-Wing and he flies around, like, we're in that room, in that command center, and that thing goes around like that, and you can just follow it. And it's incredible because the freedom it gives you as an actor is to be present and be here. And, like, Katie and I sitting at the end of the ship, and she's talking about, I don't know if I should lead, and I don't have to imagine that we're out there, because everybody's done their job at such a high level. And Favreau, being the genius that he is, has created a gaming engine that works through the camera just like you would if you're playing a game, and it moves with you. Like, it's not, fake, so it moves with you. That's what this camera does, and it's a gaming engine. And we have like 40 people upstairs in the brain bar, as we call it, and they're up there running this thing and rendering it as we go along, creating the depth that you see when I fly, and it goes into, we are going, and it feels like it's sitting in the Razor Crest, and I pulled back, and it's so cool to see that happen. So yeah.
You know what it reminds me of? So this is the first time I went to Hollywood Studios. That's why I lost my voice. I went in this Tower of Terror. It was messed up.
You gotta see. Go look at his Instagram. It's hilarious.
It was ridiculous, man.
Big Mad Mando.
Yeah. But the Rise
Jonathan
of
knows.
Resistance we were on, it's kind of similar to that. Like, you see, the screens moving with you, and so I'll say, for example, season 3, we're all on a boat before we go into the caves and fight Moff Gideon's whatever super best card up, whatever. Whatever it is. But there was this big monster that comes out of the ocean. We're all on the boat, after I think it was Simon was fighting Tate on the boat or something like that. And then this big monster comes. He was actually there on the screen. Yeah. The monster comes up out of the ocean, and actually kind of freaks me out. We had to get a wire to get our jetpacks on, and then we all take off the boat. And I was waiting for the stunt guy to hit my wire so I can take off. And I'm like looking, right? Look at the monster. I'm like, oh shit, that's real. And they're like, yeah, good acting. That's it. I'm like, yeah, that thing was really coming. And it tripped me out a little bit. I was like, wow, this really works. So, it's like that.
I just remember on season 1, because it was new for everybody, and they made an announcement is when we were on the volume, and I was there all day. And at first it was like kind of the slow moving on the blurg, and the screens move with you, which is very cool because, again, it makes it very real. And then Kim made the announcement that they're, this is like the full-on gallop. So, if you're on the volume, prepare yourself. And clearly a lot of our crew was not paying attention to her little message, because literally they're like 3, 2, 1, and it started, and you saw a lot of people go.
Yeah, you're just standing
the
there.
Just started moving, and I needed a moment because they're all kind of in front of me, and I started laughing, and you can't laugh and breathe in that costume. I was like, someone wasn't paying attention.
Can I tell a real quick story real quick? I gotta tell this about my sister here. So we had amazing, so it was episode 2 of season 2, when she played the frog lady, and we're fighting in the caves. Man, so after, Brendan, he does all the acting and dialogue, and it's time for, me and Misty to grab the eggs and start running from the spiders and shooting. That was a hell of a night for us, man, because she couldn't see, I couldn't see. It was dark. There's like actual slippery,
It was super
simulated
slippery.
snow on
They
the
put
ground.
I don't know, it was like wax paper or something on the floor. It was white.
Yes.
And then they threw the fake fluffy snow. So
Yes.
yeah.
It was like 2 a.m. at night. We're running all night. And she cleaned me out. She's like 2 feet shorter, and she cleaned my, just cleaned me out. Took me out. Oh shoot, the eggs went everywhere. The baby, I kept the baby. I was like, 'cause he's just so expensive, I kept him. And then next take, I clean her out. Cause she's down here at the frog lady, I'm running around like, all right, Missy, we're gonna go this way, boom, and I just heard her, and she fell down. I was like, uh-oh, we gotta start getting our stuff together. But we were both like, our calves were burning. She had this hypervolt gun. I was like, hey, can a girl have that? She said, yeah, we're just. And then it was like 2 a.m. and I think we made a decision. Like, she's like, I didn't want to say it because I'm a stunt guy. She's tough as nails. Just to let you guys know, she's tough. She's like, Latif, if we do one more take, my calf is going to blow. I was like, thank God. She said, I don't want to be tough in front of her. I was just like, yeah, we got it. No big deal. I was like, my calf is about to blow too, girl. Oh my God. But we finished that thing and it was so proud when we did it in because it was tough, man.
Well,
She's sitting there the whole time, never complained. I was bitching and complaining, but she wasn't. So.
That night too, because that day, like, I had fallen, and when I fell, like, it scraped up my shins, my knees, and her head is so far forward. I'm like, oh no. Like, it was one of those slow motions of like, oh no. But I remember thinking to myself, don't lock your elbows, because it literally, my hands were the same level as my face, so it was like face first, and so I broke the skull cap out of the head and smashed my face into her face, so I'm cut everywhere. And so John came through because he was worried about us. It was like he crossed over, and I know, like, he glanced at us like, I have ice on my face and on my shins, and he's got like the hypervolt gun with like a triage center. And they're like, are those two gonna make it?
Yeah. And we're like, we're fine.
Peyton's like, it's the last night, they'll be fine.
Yeah. After he said that, that's when I was like, my calf is gonna blow.
Oh yeah, I was like, I'm gonna be limping out of here if we do more than one more. It's
Well,
like,
it was
I'm
fun.
done.
Yeah. She's tough.
Who's got some questions? Right over here.
Uh-oh.
Any Americans?
It's not a complex math problem, Brendan. Great stories. Thanks, guys. Really awesome. 2 questions, one for Brendan, one for Latif. Brendan, can you talk a little bit about the first time that you met the child, what that was like? Where did you meet it? What was your emotions?
There's 2 versions of this. When I was getting fitted for Mando, I got to go meet Grogu before they put the skin on him. And it might be the most disgusting thing you've ever seen. I mean, there are so many, like, I mean, it was disgusting. And they were like, and they were so excited because they knew what it was gonna be and they understood all the intricacies of it. All I could see was this, like, baby Terminator face. And I was like, dude, that's terrifying. That's who I'm gonna be working with? Like, this is not gonna be a good show. This is gonna suck. And then when I met him and he was fully clothed, I'll just leave that. We had a name for him, and it wasn't. I call him the kid, but like it wasn't Grogu, and he resembles something, and it's just not appropriate for me to say in front of everybody. But I will say that the crew and I referred to him as something very different than Grogu or the kid quite often. And it's the little squiggly hairs and the wrinkles really mess you up. So, but because I knew the guys behind the kid, he's not that cute. Because I knew the guys, the kid, he had a personality because of Tam and Don and Mike and Trevor and Con and Jason. Those guys, when I would work with them, and so, obviously when we work as actors, we're looking for connections. The kid, being able to work with this kid and knowing it's them back there, it was an incredibly easy way to create a bond between the kid and I, because I knew whose personality was working the mouth or the eyes or the ears at the time. And then the guy who does the puppeting the most is you would think you'd choose somebody who was a little smaller and less smelly, but they chose the biggest guy in the group, and he spent a lot of time right in this area because the kids hanging out here a lot. And so when you've seen them climb up under my, bandolier in the ship, and we have the storyboards, it literally is drawn with him right here, puppeting, and I'm flying the ship, and he's climbing in, and the picture is so inappropriate. I was like, I can't believe Disney let you guys write this.
That guy eats a lot of garlic, too.
Oh my God, his nickname was Garlic and Sausage.
Yeah. He's up in your face with it. My experience was, when we went to Legacy, it's like the second time I think I did a suit. They wanted to do some alterations and stuff because they know I was going to be doing. I did some test things the first time I tested out the suit.
Because he's a grown man and has muscles unlike me.
But I told them too, I was like, you know what, I might be doing more positions, maybe, we're going to be low, maybe like this, and then maybe shoot it, whatever. And so they're like, ooh, we're going to need to probably put some elastic somewhere. So I went back there and they're like, hey, you want to see, who you going to do? Yeah, the kids. I was like, yeah, I'll check it out. And he just got his skin on. So they did show me a picture of him without. I was like, ooh, God, this can't be it. And then I saw him, and as soon as I saw him, I was like, oh, he's the star of the movie.
No,
Yeah, when he finally put his skin on, I was like, oh, that guy's going to be the money maker. And sure enough, he was. But I know with my relationship, it's a little bit different with Brendan's because I'm going to be running, gunning, falling with him. And that guy is expensive, man. And so my job is so nerve-wracking because the props guys will come with Legacy. They're like, hey, man, just let you know this guy's over $5 million. And I'm like, oh, God. So I can't even save myself in some of them. And some of those, times I did do that. It was with Misty. And I was running, remember, we had this run pass. And then, right when we get to the wall, they cut or whatever like that. So we just had to run something, but I just kept going, and I was sliding. That's when I busted the eggs, and I was like, oh, the eggs, nope, the baby. And and then the guys from Legacy came up to me. I was on the ground like this, and I hold my elbows, like, yeah, I got the baby, I got him. They came up to me, they helped me out. They're like, man, that was badass, man, good job, bro. Took the baby. Yeah. Yes. And so that's my relationship. He's kind of a little bastard sometimes. Don't slip out of my arms today, please, man. But yeah, that was pretty much my relationship.
They would always, Jason would come up, and especially with the hero baby. And he'd make sure he had eye contact with me, and he's like, missed. I was like, what? And he's like, hero baby, be careful. And it was when I was riding on the blurg and had hero baby, and he's heavy. So I'm like my left bicep was hurting. And especially when it was the fast run, I just kind of scooted over in the saddle a little bit so that if I did lose my balance or was going to fall, I would fall, I was like, I would break my head, but baby would be okay. And the same thing with Frog Lady was the moment where we're running into the ship. And so he had to give him to me, and again, this is hero baby. I was like, oh God. I was like, I can't see, right? And so I was like, but I could yell because they were gonna dump my voice. It's like, I got him. But then the Razor Crest is like this, and there's snow everywhere, and so I got him, and I started sliding. He's like, no. And slid down on my back. I was like, I got him. And they're like, cut.
Latif, the other question. Could you tell us what it was like to fight Giancarlo with the Darksaber when you had the Beskar spear?
Good Lord. Yes. So basically that fight we had in season 2, I'm just going to say this, that was real. That guy wasn't holding back, man. No, but it was really cool because we didn't have a lot of time to rehearse. And, we were talking there, and we did a little bit the day before, just working out, and he's like, man, I'm sore, bro. I was like, yeah, man, me too. I got some ibuprofen, you want some? He's like, yeah. And after that, man, we started talking, and then he's like, so what do you think about this fight, and this, and that? I was like, you know what, brother, let's just go ham. Because we really didn't rehearse enough to know all the choreo, and with an actor and everything, with my job is to be ready for anything. You know, if he's swinging at my leg, I gotta be able to block with my leg, even though he's supposed to be swinging at my head. It's up to me to kind of make that adjustment. And that's what I did all night. He went after me like the first scene when he said, so when the first scene when he starts hitting me, you know, out the door, he's swinging the darksaber out. That was all ad-lib. You know, most of that was ad-lib, and I was just trying to find the light because I can't see much. I'm like, there's the light, there's light, there's light, blocking, and pretty much he whooped my ass the whole night. And one of the times though, he went down, and I can't see much, and he went for a move, and he was supposed to block. And he didn't block. He missed it at one time, and I caught him a little bit, and it went dink, and he's like, "Oh!" And he went down. I was like, "Oh no!" I just freaking, you know, I'm getting fired. Oh my God! He popped back up, literally popped back up to his feet. Nope, we're quitting. We're not going. Let's go. Go again. Go again. I got scared as hell. I know they're gonna bring it even harder, and he sure did, man. But the whole night, even though he's like, "Man, is that okay? I'm destroying your suit." He destroyed 6-7 lightsabers, darksabers.
Wow.
And the crew was getting a little, you know, pissed off at it, you know, and everything. And I was just like, you know what, man? Let's make history, man. It doesn't bother me.
It's so
Everyone
good.
else, don't worry about what's going on. Let's just let's keep going, man. I can take it, man. Let's go. And he gave me a big hug, and then we finished that out, man. And we were tired, beat up, and sore. And this is Giancarlo, man, like A-list, big actor, just teaching me things about stunts, you know. I couldn't quit, I couldn't give up, and he didn't either, so I was really impressed with him. He's a guy.
We got one more? One time for one more? There we go.
Okay, so obviously we saw a lot of great surprises in season 2 with all these characters, Bo-Katan, Ahsoka. Did you guys have any idea that we were going to see Luke, or what were your thoughts about that?
I knew, and they tried to play it off, and I could tell Dave was lying because he's like, "Oh, it's Plo, it's his favorite Jedi," and I was like, "No, it ain't." And then I got it. I found out before, the day before. So, and I thought, oh, that's pretty bitchin'. I gotta be honest with you, like, when I was in it, I didn't think like, Carl Weathers was a big deal to me, but like, I didn't think of how cool it was gonna be. I was just in the middle of it, you know? I was just trying to survive it on some levels, so it's like, I don't know. Yeah, my feet were on the ground and I wasn't thinking about the bigger picture of it. So I didn't really grasp the gravity of that moment until I saw it. And I was like, oh my God, this is gonna be unreal. I mean, same thing for me, was with Ahmed Best coming in. I felt the same way. Like, I get chills saying it now. Like, to see that kind of thing, and to see Star Wars understand that there was a responsibility to find a redemption for him, considering how much guff he took, you know, for nothing. In my opinion, like, absolutely awesome to see those kind of things happen. You're always gonna love Luke, but to see Ahmed come in and have the reaction he had, that was pretty exceptional.
I'll say it's kind of like him, because I think we kind of had to know that we were, yeah, it was a secret, no one else knew, like, and we got months out, you know, we got the script and everything, and the Jedi comes on the ship, but they, like he said, was saying it was Plo Koon to all of us.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to design the guys in action, so we're like, okay, Plo Koon, let's put this in, let's do some research, see what else, and that. We started choreographing a fight scene for Plo Koon. On the morning of that day we're filming, we're still thinking it's Plo Koon. John and Dave pulled me and Ryan, the coordinator, fight coordinator, stunt coordinator, to the side, and they're like, okay, just to let you guys know, this is not Plo Koon, this is Luke Skywalker. Make the choreo now. And they were like, I mean, seriously, I've never seen Dave and John like it before. They're really so calm. You know, Dave is like, hey, you know, John's calm. But they were like, now, we gotta do it now. We don't like this. Luke, he can't be forcing like this. He has to have a like this. It was so detailed. You know, we had to go back and forth. Okay, so can he force push like this? No. Okay, like this? Yes. Okay, then we go back and redo the choreography. we were sweating bullets because they were putting a lot of pressure on us. It has to look like Luke. It has to be a light force user. It can't be dark. And this and that. And we did it like in an hour. We hired a good friend of ours, named Matt Rigetti. He's a guy who actually went through cutting down all the troopers. And he's an amazing stunt guy. He's actually doing the boys now. He's one of the coordinators there. But he was amazing. He's very calm. He's like, okay, cool. Okay, Luke Skywalker. Okay, he's just listening at every direction. And while everyone was stressing out, falling, they were trying to get stuff, you know, like, oh, it's Luke, because everyone knows, the whole crew knows it's Luke on the day, right when we're filming. So everyone's kind of stressing, okay, we gotta get the lighting, we gotta get the dream saber right, is that? And yeah, man, it was a stressful time, but then when we saw it, it was like, it's Luke Skywalker. Yeah. You know what I mean? I was like, whoa, what the heck? But yeah, it was a surprise until the day.
I didn't know because I had done my little bit with Frog Lady and was just watching the show as a fan. And what I can say is, like, I had rivers of tears, like, watching that scene. Is like, oh my God, like, it was so overwhelming, you know, as a fan to experience that. So, you know, I'm glad I didn't know, because I was like, what? Like, yeah, the whole of that scene just, it was almost too much for me. So, special.
We'll give them a round of applause. Go see them at their booths.
Hey, Sarah. Can I ask a favor with you? Would you guys mind if you all crunch together with us? And because John's birthday is coming up, so let's all yell and wish him a happy birthday. So, can I borrow my phone really quick?